We continue with our pregnancy care series, and today we are going to be discussing polyhydramnios. Polyhydramnios. Hello and welcome aboard Juliecity. How are you keeping? I hope you're keeping well. As usual, I'm always excited to be here, and I'm glad you are here. Thank you for clicking to watch today's video. You're highly appreciated. In today's video, we are discussing polyhydramnios. Polyhydramnios. Yeah, I know, tongue twister. But you just relax. We'll break it down in this video. I always love to keep medical terminologies as minimal as possible, and that will not be an exception in this video. So, like I said, polyhydramnios, simply put, means too much water surrounding the baby. Now, medically, we will call it amniotic fluid, but in this video, we call it the water that surrounds baby during pregnancy in the womb. Is that fair enough? Now, let's continue. So, that water that surrounds baby in the womb during pregnancy has very valuable functions. It includes protecting baby from any trauma or hard impact. For example, if a pregnant woman hits her tummy against the door forcefully or falls and hits her tummy on the floor, that amniotic fluid serves as protection. By the way, if you experience any of such, please consult your midwife or doctor looking after you during pregnancy immediately. It helps with maintaining the growing baby's temperature while in the womb. If you know anything about developing babies in the womb or newborn babies, one thing that is critical for their optimum growth and development is maintaining temperature, and the amniotic fluid has the right temperature to keep baby at that optimum temperature. The amniotic fluid also helps baby to practice how to swallow while still growing in the womb. That way, it helps with the digestive system, kidney, lungs, and all of that. It also enables baby to stretch and move effectively to help with their development while they are growing in the uterus. It also helps to prevent infection while baby is still growing in the womb. So yes, that water that surrounds the baby during pregnancy has really valuable functions. Sometimes that water can become too much, and that is where polyhydramnios arises as a condition during pregnancy. Research says about 1 to 2% of pregnancies, or 1 in 100 pregnancies, will suffer from polyhydramnios. Like I always say, these videos are not meant to scare you, but to get you to the place of empowerment where you'll be able to effectively participate in your care during pregnancy. Yes, you become empowered enough to be the center of every decision that will be made, because that pregnancy is yours and it's also your body. That is the essence of these videos. Polyhydramnios can range from mild to severe, and when it is mild, really there's nothing to worry about except the usual monitoring so it doesn't get to the point of severe. And a lot of women who have had polyhydramnios as a mild condition will progress through their pregnancy and have their babies without any implication, except for the routine and regular monitoring by the midwife and the obstetrician looking after you in pregnancy to ensure that if there's any concerns or any progression to severe, it is checked on time and managed effectively, because a stitch in time, they say, saves 9. If polyhydramnios becomes severe, then plans will be put in place with you at the center of it to provide the appropriate management, which we'll be discussing later in this video. Polyhydramnios usually starts as early as 16 weeks of pregnancy, but this is different for every pregnant person who is suffering from polyhydramnios, and it is usually detected either during the midwife routine antenatal checks or during a routine pregnancy scan. Management, again, I say, will depend on whether it is mild, moderate, or severe. Polyhydramnios can come up as acute, which means suddenly. So if you notice that you feel suddenly really distended and swollen hands, legs, and uncomfortable or with some pain, any pain at all, anything unusual during pregnancy, please speak to your midwife or the doctor that is looking after you as soon as possible to prevent any stories that touch the heart. With a mild polyhydramnios, a woman might not even experience any symptoms. However, some common symptoms of polyhydramnios include shortness of breath, swollen hands, feet, and even the vulva, that is the vagina area. The vulva becomes swollen, tightening around your abdomen or baby bump, feeling like you want to pee frequently, symptoms of UTI or constipation. Please consult your midwife or doctor looking after you in pregnancy as soon as possible. Now, some ways that the midwife or the obstetrician, doctor looking after you in pregnancy, can detect polyhydramnios for those who don't have any symptom will be that if the abdomen, the baby bump, is measured, it might be measuring too much. When palpating, that is checking baby, when the midwife is touching the tummy to check positioning of the baby, known as palpating, the midwife cannot feel the positioning of the baby because the fluid surrounding the baby is too much. Also, the scan will measure and show that there is a case of polyhydramnios. And if this is confirmed, please don't fret. That is why we're sharing this information, so you're well aware. The big question then will be, what causes it? And typical, unknown, especially for those who have mild polyhydramnios. However, for moderate to severe polyhydramnios, it could be a situation that there's some congenital abnormality with the developing baby. A congenital abnormality related to swallowing, baby unable to swallow effectively while still in the womb, some renal or kidney problems. So that is why it's important that if you feel any of the symptoms, that you make sure you inform your midwife or doctor as soon as you can. That way, a plan can be put in place to make sure that no stories that will touch the heart will happen, or it will be kept to barest minimum. Infections, diabetes, maternal diabetes, high blood pressure, problems with heart function of the developing baby, multiple pregnancies, a difference in rhesus factor, and we've done that video. That could be also the cause of polyhydramnios. So it's very important that if you feel anything unusual during your pregnancy, that you contact your midwife or doctor looking after you in pregnancy as soon as possible. Treatment of polyhydramnios, like I said earlier, is on an individual basis. So it depends on whether it is mild or it is severe. For mild, like I said earlier, really, many women end up having their babies without any concerns. But when polyhydramnios is severe, then it might be a case of draining out some of the fluid, if that is necessary, depending on the situation and the individual circumstance, or depending on the stage of pregnancy, it might be that baby might require to be born for baby safety and mommy's safety as well, and that might lead to induction or even a cesarean section. Like I said, it's on an individual basis, and it depends on when this polyhydramnios started. If it is earlier on, the choices and decisions and the management will be slightly different. If it is later on, then there will be consideration of actually bringing out baby in order to prevent any further complications. Monitoring is something that will happen. So with a severe polyhydramnios, it becomes classified medically as a high-risk pregnancy. And please don't be put off by that word. It just simply means extra appointments and more vigilance and monitoring of the pregnancy to make sure that it doesn't escalate. So why is polyhydramnios a concern? Severe polyhydramnios, that's water. Remember, we've discussed the very valuable functions of it can break, and when it does, then it means that nothing is cushioning the baby from any trauma or blow to that tummy. It means that that baby will be open to infections quite easily. It means that that baby's developing parts in the body might begin to stick with the sac. It means that the baby will not be able to stretch and move as it should, which might impact on his growth and development. It means that the renal function, the lungs, the digestive health might also be impacted and not develop effectively. So yes, there's a whole lot of complications surrounding polyhydramnios. That is why it's important that you report anything that is unusual so it can be managed effectively. So like I said, yes, the water can go earlier in pregnancy. It can lead to placental abruption. We've discussed that, so I encourage you to watch that video so we don't extend this one. Yes, placenta abruption, meaning that the placenta suddenly detaches while baby is still in the womb. Polyhydramnios, or too much water surrounding the baby, can also lead to an obstetric emergency known as cord prolapse. So simply put, it means that the cord goes before the baby while baby is being born, which is not good because it can lead to demise of the baby during birth. Yes, it's that serious. So it's important that polyhydramnios is effectively managed. It can also lead to premature birth, because if it becomes a severe case, then like we said earlier, a decision might be made to induce in order to bring out baby for the safety of the baby and the mother. It can also lead to a low birth weight for the baby. I repeat, if you notice anything unusual during your pregnancy, please consult your midwife or doctor looking after you in pregnancy. A stitch in time saves 9. Management, I repeat again, is of course on a case-by-case basis, depending on whether it is mild, severe, sudden, or a gradual process, whether it started really early in pregnancy or it was noticed towards the end of pregnancy. All of that will determine what plan of care will be offered, and you, being well informed, will be able to make the right choices and decisions regarding you and your unborn child. I'll be stopping here. I hope you have found this video useful. If you have, then please like this video. It does help the video. Subscribe if you have not. Leave me a comment, leave me a question, or leave a contribution. It all helps to form the education that we all want for those who are in search of it, to empower the woman. Share your experience. If you've had it previously, how did you feel? What happened? Let's know in the comment section. And of course, share. Till I see you next time, don't forget, your health is your wealth. Bye bye. Remember to click these videos popping up. I'm sure you find it interesting. Bye.